As you know, we've been having concerts for the Concert for a Cause for about 8 years now. And this is our 6th concert for WCPE's Educational Fund. And we've raised right over in the past $5,000. Now the girls set forward a goal of $5,000 for tonight, so that would double what we've given to WCPE. And they've already raised right over $1,200, I think. So we're well on the way. The girls will tell you more, the young ladies, I should say, will tell you more about WCPE, and halfway through, just before the Debussy piece, we have some radio announcers and the station manager here from WCPE. So they'll tell you more about their educational fund. Restrooms are through the door to the left. Men, you have to walk the furthest all the way down. Just keep following the hallway until you can go no further. Ladies, yours is to the left here, and there's a water fountain there as well. So the girls are going to come in a few minutes. We're asking you to, as we do at church here on Sunday morning, as you leave, there is a reception, a very small reception outside. Grab your ice cream, your water, and then please don't gather close together. So that's not my phone. So whose phone would that be? Oh, it's not yours? Well, let's see whose it is. Maybe it's God or Yahweh calling. I don't know. Oh, it's someone's. Oh, so let's go back to my original announcement. Now's a good time to cut your phones off, and your watches, and anything else that makes a noise. But welcome. If you're from the Kirk of Kildaire, will you stand up so these people will know who to ask if they need something? Stand up if you're from the Kirk. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. For the rest of you, welcome to the Kirk. If you have any questions, let me know, or any of these people standing up. So the girls are going to come in just a few minutes because we have a few latecomers I noticed in the parking lot. I will say before they come in, when they came to me 2 months ago, they said, we're looking for a place to do a concert. And then they started telling me what they wanted to do. And they said, we want to do it as a fundraiser to give back to students that cannot afford lessons or can't afford instruments, because we have been so blessed to be able to do that. So we started talking, and the more I talked to them, the more I thought, this is a perfect thing for WCPE and the Educational Fund. And I've been worried about how we can do this because we missed last year. So I'm really excited that we're bringing this back for this particular fund. I will tell you, you are in for a great treat tonight. If these are the kind of young people we need to be hearing about on the news and in the newspapers. You are going to be, if all of our young people were like these 3 young ladies, we would have no worries. So I have really been impressed with them. So they'll be in here in just a second, and then we'll get ready to go, right? All right.
Thank you for real, Dr. Abernathy. Good evening, everybody. My name is Sofia Frada. I will be introducing the pieces that you will be hearing tonight and the respective composers. I hope to be half as interesting as my cell phone. That was my cell phone, yeah. I'm sorry about that. Please do not follow my example. Before we begin, we'd like to thank all of those who have donated already. That's quite a few of you. I have the updated numbers. We have over $3,000 in donations right now. So thank you so much. As you may know, our donations will go to the WCPE Education Fund, which provides music lessons, instruments, and much more to students around the state who cannot afford them. Our donation goal, as Dr. Abernathy mentioned, is $5,000. So if you haven't donated yet, please consider doing so. Tonight's musicians are Camilla Frada at the piano, Haley Guerra with the clarinet, and Annika Calhoun with the violin. The first piece is a clarinet sonata by Saint-Saëns. So, Camille Saint-Saëns was a French composer, pianist, organist, and conductor who lived at the turn of the 20th century. Some of his most notable works include The Carnival of the Animals and The Danse Macabre. Towards the end of his life, Saint-Saëns made a conscious effort to compose pieces for instruments that didn't have as much solo repertoire, such as the clarinet. The clarinet sonata comprises 4 movements. While listening to the sonata, keep an eye out for a recurring theme. In the first movement, it sounds like this. While in the 4th movement, it sounds like this. Without any further ado, please enjoy Saint-Saëns' Clarinet Sonata in E-flat major. The next piece is a violin concerto by Seitz. Friedrich Seitz was a German composer and violinist who lived in the late 19th century. As a Romantic-era composer, Seitz's pieces tell stories through their use of longer melodies and varied dynamics. After retiring from performance as a concertmaster, which for a layman is a first violinist, he became known for writing chamber music pieces as well as repertoire for students. Tonight, Annika will be playing one of these student concertos, the second concerto in G minor. Listen for the ABA form, where a theme is played once, followed by a second theme, and then the original theme is played once more. The ABA form is particularly apparent in the second movement of the concerto. Unlike other pieces, like the one we just heard, the movements in this concerto are played without interruption, so a short piano interlude will mark the end of the first movement and the beginning of the second. The concerto is also known for its use of double stops, where a violinist plays on two strings simultaneously, like this. Now, Friedrich Seitz's Violin Concerto in G minor. Our third piece is another clarinet sonata by Poulenc. Francis Poulenc was a 20th century French composer and pianist. The sonata is divided into 3 movements in the usual pattern of fast movement, then slow movement, then fast movement again. Be careful though, because the first movement also follows this pattern. It begins quickly, slows down in the middle, and then ends quickly once again, almost like a mini sonata. Camilla tells me that this slower section in the first movement is one of her favorites. In the words of one New York Times critic of the era, this portion of the movement is one of those melting, long-phrased, and unabashed sentimental affairs that nobody but Poulenc could carry off. By contrast, the final movement is fast and unrelenting, broken up into sections with a playful, even clownish motif. Please enjoy Poulenc's clarinet sonata. Now we'll hear some words from our friends at the WCPE radio station.
Everyone, thanks so much for coming. I'm Dan McHugh from WCPE, the classical station. I'm the membership director, and I invite you to the reception outside. We're going to have ice cream following the concert. It's sponsored by Cary Nail. And welcome to our streaming audience. We have 25 people watching online, so thanks so much. Special thanks to Dr. Abernathy and the Kirk of Kildaire for hosting this event. And thanks so much to Camilla, Haley, and Annika for performing and for dedicating their performance to raising money for the WCPE Education Fund. WCPE is the classical radio station here in Central North Carolina, and we're a nonprofit and have been around for over 40 years. Today we actually celebrated our 43rd birthday. And you can listen on 89.7 FM thanks to the financial support of our listeners. You can listen to our classical music, which we play 24 hours a day online at theclassicalstation.org and on our app on our phone. Tonight's concert is raising money for the Education Fund, and the mission of the Education Fund is to directly support classical music education in our own community through grants distributed every spring. Members of the station can allocate 10% of their gift to WCPE for this special cause. Over the last 11 years, thanks to the generosity of our members, the Education Fund has awarded over $100,000 to musical nonprofits right here in North Carolina. Grants support music lessons, scholarships, concerts, and getting instruments to kids who might not otherwise have the opportunity to play classical music. Tonight's very special because all of the money will go directly towards the Education Fund. We have a goal of raising $5,000 tonight, which would be really wonderful. Every year, usually we give out around $10,000, so it would be even more special to give out more. This money will help the kids with lessons that might not otherwise have access to them, provide scholarships, and so much more. We awarded 6 grants to groups this year, and one that I want to mention is the Wake Forest Community Youth Orchestra, led by Dr. Lysandra Booth. I attended their summer concert this past Tuesday night and heard some of the young students play music from classical to jazz. Some were elementary school kids who had only played for 6 weeks during their summer camp. It was really wonderful to see all of them play and their parents smiling in the seats looking on. And the Education Fund awarded them $2,000, and we also gave them instruments just a couple of weeks ago. Looking at the kids was like seeing kids at Christmas because they were opening all the instruments, trying to figure out what they were. They were French horns they'd never seen, and those will go towards some kids who might not otherwise have had lessons. So your donations tonight help support programs like that. Thank you so much for supporting the Education Fund. Please help us reach our goal of $5,000 so that we can continue to support musical education in the community. And we're so thankful for all your generosity and for coming tonight. Thanks so much, and enjoy the rest of the concert.
Thank you, Mr. McHugh. Our fourth piece brings us back to France with Claude Debussy, the iconic 19th and 20th century composer. Although he disliked the term, he is considered an impressionist composer. That means that, unlike romantic composers like Seitz, who composed the violin sonata, Debussy emphasized moods and feelings rather than narratives in his pieces. Clair de Lune, published in 1905 along with 3 other pieces in the Bergamasque's suite, is no exception. The piece is based on a poem by the symbolist poet Paul Verlaine, which depicts the tortured poet taking a walk past a pond covered in lilies. The opening lines of the poem evoke the opening lines of Clair de Lune. Le couchant dardait ses rayons suprêmes, et le vent berçait les nénuphars blêmes. Or, the setting sun cast its final rays, and the breeze rocked the pale water lilies. While Clair de Lune is at its heart open to interpretation, you can try thinking of this scene as you listen. Tonight's final three pieces are by George Gershwin, the famous 20th century composer. As a young musician, Gershwin actually visited Maurice Ravel in the hopes of improving his classical study and composition. But he was rejected because Ravel wanted to preserve Gershwin's jazz touch. The first piece, Summertime, is a Gershwin classic. While it was originally written as an operatic piece for a musical, it was quickly picked up by jazz singers like Ella Fitzgerald. The second piece is I Got Rhythm. Gershwin's brother and lyricist, Ira, found setting the lyrics to the piece quite challenging due to its constantly changing rhythm. He struggled with the rhythm and settled with I've got rhythm as lyrics 3 times and ending with who could ask for anything more. The third piece, Blues, was arranged by the Italian composer and conductor Michele Mangiani, who turned the famous bluesy trumpet solo into a fun and expressive piece for clarinet, with hints of Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. This is Haley's personal favorite because the clarinet part can be personalized to the player in any way they prefer, as long as they have fun with it. Now, Summertime, I Got Rhythm in Blues.
Weren't they great? I told them they needed to have an encore, and they didn't believe me. You want to hear the Gershwin one more time? Can we do the? Yeah, let's hear the piano piece while these two go to the back. So can you give us an encore?
Are you saying I got rhythm? Or?
Yeah, sure. I got rhythm. What do y'all think? Yeah? Okay. So don't forget there's a reception afterwards, and outside, make sure you continue to stay socially distanced when you're socializing outside. Thank you for being here tonight. Girls, you young ladies rather, you were absolutely fantastic. Thank you, guys. Young ladies, you can leave now. Okay, so go ahead so you can meet all your adoring fans. Someone just said, how do we make the checks out? So you make it out to the Kirk of Kildaire. On the subject line, put WCPE, our educational fund, and I assure you it will all get in one check to WCPE. And thank you guys from WCPE for coming tonight. Thank you all for your support. Have a great end of the summer.